He was never meant to be famous, just a preacher's son with a hammer and a dream. But behind the charming smile and picture-perfect homes, Ben Napier was hiding battles that nearly tore it all down. What really happened when the cameras stopped rolling? The truth will leave you speechless. Ben Napier's journey from the son of a preacher to a beloved television personality and master craftsman is one that's deeply rooted in tradition, family, and a passion for preserving the past. Born in Collins, Mississippi, Ben was raised in a household anchored in strong Christian values. His father, a United Methodist minister, played a significant role in shaping his worldview. Early on, Ben appeared to be following in his father's footsteps, taking on the role of youth minister at Laurel First United Methodist Church. But life, as it often does, had other plans. Ben's early years were marked by a duality, a love for spiritual leadership and a growing curiosity about building and crafting things with his hands. This curiosity was nurtured by his father, who was not just a preacher, but also a handyman who introduced Ben to the world of woodworking. In a heartfelt Father's Day post, Ben recalled how his dad was the first to show him how to build something, even gifting him his very first set of tools. It was this foundation that quietly began to reshape Ben's path from pulpit to porch. Ben pursued a degree in history at the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss, further solidifying his fascination with the past. Though history and woodworking may seem like separate interests, for Ben, they complemented each other perfectly. His education deepened his appreciation for older structures and the narratives they hold, while his hands-on skills allowed him to restore these historical elements into usable beauty. During his time at Ole Miss, Ben also met Erin, the woman who would not only become his wife, but also his greatest collaborator. Ben and Erin's love story is nothing short of cinematic. They met at Jones County Junior College and instantly formed a bond rooted in shared dreams and complementary talents. By the end of that year, they had already promised to marry, a commitment they followed through on in 2008. Their shared love for Laurel, Mississippi led them to make the town their permanent home and dedicate their lives to its revitalization. After leaving youth ministry in 2014, Ben committed himself fully to woodworking and community building. This decision laid the groundwork for what would become HGTV's hometown. Alongside Erin, who had a background in graphic design, Ben began restoring old homes and furniture, blending craftsmanship with design and historical relevance. These small but meaningful projects gradually caught attention on social media, showcasing not just their talent, but their love for each other and for Laurel. Their shared commitment to community, preservation, and authenticity ultimately drew the attention of HGTV. The network saw in them what the town of Laurel already knew. Ben and Erin weren't just restoring houses, they were reviving a culture, rebuilding a sense of place, and reminding people that home is something to cherish. Ben's transformation from preacher in training to nationally recognized craftsman is a testament to following your heart, honoring your roots, and building a life around the values that matter. It's also a story of how one man's decision to trade sermons for sawdust became the catalyst for a cultural revival in a small southern town. But how did a modest fixer-upper, shared on Instagram, end up becoming the foundation for a nationwide television phenomenon? What was it about one old house in Laurel that changed everything for the Napiers, and how did that spark a television revolution? Let's find out. From fixer-uppers to HGTV fame. What began as a heartfelt desire to restore a single home in a sleepy southern town soon blossomed into a nationally televised movement. The spark? A modest fixer-upper and a simple hashtag. Back in 2014, Erin Napier began documenting the couple's renovation of their Laurel, Mississippi home on Instagram, using the hashtag #ILiveInLaurel. With every post, Erin's design instincts and Ben's craftsmanship began to capture the attention of followers well beyond their town's borders. The home they were fixing wasn't just another project, it was a personal mission. They wanted to breathe new life into a forgotten structure while preserving its soul. Little did they know, HGTV was watching. A network executive stumbled upon Aaron's Instagram posts and was immediately struck by the authenticity, visual storytelling, and strong chemistry between the couple. The combination of Southern charm, heartfelt design, and community commitment led HGTV to reach out with a proposition that would change their lives: a television pilot. The pilot, filmed in 2015, showcased everything that would come to define Hometown: Ben's restoration of architectural details, Aaron's creative use of vintage finds, and their natural rapport. The response was overwhelmingly positive. In January 2016, Hometown officially premiered on HGTV and quickly grew a loyal fan base. It wasn't just about watching homes being fixed. Audiences felt like they were part of a real-life love story and a larger movement to preserve American towns. By the end of the first season, it was clear that Hometown wasn't just another home renovation show, it was a cultural reset. While other shows emphasized flashy, modern redesigns, the Napiers focused on honoring a home's original charm. They emphasized heart over hype, meaning over marketability. Each home became a narrative of family, history, and design. Their honest approach was a breath of fresh air in a genre that often felt overly polished. The authenticity of the show can be credited to the Napiers' complete lack of television background. In fact, Ben and Aaron had no experience in reality TV and were admittedly fans of Fixer Upper, which they only started watching after their deal with HGTV. This allowed them to enter the spotlight without preconceived notions of how to behave on camera, bringing a raw genuineness that resonated with millions. In 2017, the show began to gain national attention. Viewers across the country were tuning in not just to watch old houses transform, but to witness the transformation of a town. Laurel's coffee shops, bakeries, bookstores, and antique stores were suddenly bustling with tourists and fans hoping to catch a glimpse of the iconic couple, or better yet, buy a house and have it featured on the show. By 2023, Hometown had aired over 80 episodes and become the most watched real estate show on Agent Wealth Hustle's list. Its continued success also paved the way for multiple spin-offs, expanding the Napiers' influence even further. Their on-screen charisma and personal integrity are just part of the secret sauce. Viewers are drawn to their relationship, marked by mutual respect, humor, and shared dreams. Ben's humor and warm-hearted nature blend seamlessly with Aaron's emotional intelligence and creativity. Together, they show what it means to truly collaborate in both marriage and business. A standout moment came in the premiere episode, Big Renovation in a Small Town, when the couple helped first-time homeowners Laura and Ross transform a tiny shotgun house into a cozy, functional space. Aaron's eye for design created bright and welcoming interiors, while Ben cleverly crafted furniture to optimize the home's small layout. It set the tone for everything the show would become: sincere, strategic, and deeply personal. The couple's consistent message has always been clear. It's not about making the biggest or trendiest house. It's about making a house feel like home. And with each passing season, they prove that revitalization is not just about real estate. It's about restoring pride, connection, and memory. But what really happens behind the scenes of these transformations, and what makes each episode of Hometown feel like a love letter to the past? Let's step inside the heart of the renovation process. How Hometown works its magic. Every episode of Hometown feels like a warm embrace, not just because of the couple's Southern charm, but because of the detailed artistry and care poured into every project. But behind the TV magic is a surprisingly structured process, a blend of historic preservation, creative design, and a dash of spontaneity. It all begins when the Napiers meet with potential homeowners. These clients are often people looking to settle in Laurel or nearby, and they're in search of a home with character. Aaron and Ben help them choose from 2 or 3 properties, typically older homes in need of repair and vision. The couple walks the clients through each property, discussing budget constraints and design potential. Once the decision is made, the real work begins, most of which happens off-camera over weeks or even months. Ben and Aaron work with a small trusted crew of local carpenters, electricians, and contractors to execute each renovation. He often finds ways to preserve or restore unique architectural elements, like original fireplaces, vintage doors, and aged ceiling beams, which help maintain each home's historical soul. Erin, on the other hand, takes charge of design. Her role goes far beyond picking paint colors or pillows. She often draws custom illustrations for clients, visualizing how a gutted room will be brought to life with warm lighting, layered textures, and personal touches. Her goal is to make every house reflect the personalities of the families who will live there. Each home featured on Hometown tells a story. For instance, in Season 3, Episode 8, a young family looking for a blend of history and modern comfort asked Ben and Aaron to bring life back to a 1920s craftsman home. Ben painstakingly restored the wooden trim and molding, while Aaron designed whimsical kids' rooms and cozy communal spaces. The result? A dream home steeped in character and tailored for family life. In another fan-favorite episode, Season 5, Episode 12, the couple faced one of their most ambitious projects, converting an old bank into a livable single-family home. The challenge was not just to make the space cozy, but to respect the building's identity. Ben preserved the original vault door and incorporated other salvaged elements into the final design. Aaron embraced an industrial modern theme, carefully balancing the building's imposing features with warm colors and comfortable furnishings. One of the show's defining traits is how it uplifts local businesses. Furniture, art, and decor used in each episode often come from Laurel-based artisans. Whether it's pottery, light fixtures, or vintage furniture, everything is thoughtfully sourced to not only support the local economy, but to ensure that each home is truly one of a kind. Another behind-the-scenes secret: the homeowners often don't see the full renovation process. While they're involved in the early stages, the bulk of the work is done without their direct involvement. This makes the final reveal especially emotional. Homeowners walk into what feels like a brand new house, but one that still holds echoes of its history and their vision. Erin once said that her favorite part of every episode is when the new homeowners enter and get teary-eyed. That moment, she believes, is when design becomes more than just aesthetics. It becomes personal, meaningful, and transformative. Beyond aesthetics and nostalgia, Hometown also carries a subtle message of sustainability. By restoring old homes instead of demolishing them, the Napiers promote environmentally responsible practices. Preserving materials, repurposing wood, and minimizing waste are all part of the ethos behind their work. What's more, the show has helped spark a broader movement. Viewers around the country have been inspired to preserve older homes in their own communities, proving that restoration can be both beautiful and deeply rewarding. But the journey hasn't always been smooth. What health crisis nearly sidelined Ben? And how did the couple cope with the fear of losing everything they built? We are going to reveal the personal struggle behind the polished success. The heartbreaking tragedy. As much as Hometown radiates joy, nostalgia, and optimism on screen, real life has a way of testing even the most resilient spirits. For Ben Napier, that test came in the form of a serious health challenge, one that forced him to step back, reassess his role on the show, and prioritize his well-being like never before. In 2023, viewers began to notice something unusual. Ben was missing from several episodes or seen only briefly. This absence didn't go unnoticed by fans who had come to admire his hands-on approach and signature humor. Eventually, Erin revealed that Ben had undergone rotator cuff surgery to address long-standing shoulder issues, pain that he had been quietly managing behind the scenes for years. The surgery was more than just routine. It involved cartilage trimming, removing bone spurs, and repairing the rotator cuff in his right shoulder, the same arm he used for much of his carpentry. While the procedure was successful, the recovery was anything but easy. For someone like Ben, who thrives on physical activity and craftsmanship, being told to rest was frustrating and disorienting. Erin later shared that the hardest part for Ben wasn't the surgery itself, it was the recovery. Used to lifting heavy materials and working with tools every day, he suddenly found himself sidelined. For the first time in years, he had to delegate tasks to others on the crew, trust them to carry out his vision, and focus on healing. Even the smallest movements caused pain, and his presence on set was limited to ensure proper healing. To make matters more complex, Ben's health journey didn't end with his shoulder. In 2025, Erin posted an update about another issue plaguing her husband: chronic ankle pain from an old basketball injury. After living with discomfort for years, Ben began undergoing stem wave therapy, a non-invasive regenerative treatment that uses sound waves to stimulate healing in joints and tendons. While it wasn't a cure, the therapy dramatically reduced his pain from a 12 out of 10 to around a 4. Though the therapy brought relief, Ben still faces the possibility of needing a total ankle replacement in the future. Yet, despite the uncertainty, he remains optimistic and committed to his recovery. He's adjusted his daily routine, incorporating more gentle activities, and stepping away from intense manual labor when needed. But the shoulder surgery and ankle pain weren't the only wake-up calls. Around the same time, Ben became concerned about his weight and blood pressure. He realized that the physically demanding nature of his job, paired with the demands of fame, had taken a toll on his health. So, he made a decision that would alter his lifestyle permanently: get healthy. With Erin's full support, Ben began a weight loss journey that combined intermittent fasting, light cardio, yoga, and a total dietary overhaul. He also built a gym on their property, an airy, sunlit space where he could work out in privacy. Over 3 years, he lost nearly 100 pounds. Erin noted that even though she loved him at any size, she's proud of how he reclaimed his strength and stamina, especially for the sake of being a present husband and father. What makes Ben's health journey even more inspiring is how openly the couple talks about it. They've never sugar-coated the challenges or hidden the emotional toll. Erin has described the fear she felt watching Ben recover, and Ben has admitted to struggling with the identity shift that came with physical limitations. But through it all, they leaned on each other. Their transparency not only humanized them further in the eyes of fans, but also inspired countless viewers facing similar health battles. Ben's story is now not just about restoring old homes, it's about restoring oneself. It's about resilience, recovery, and learning to rebuild from the inside out. But while health can shake the foundation of a person, success can expand it. How did Hometown evolve from a single-town renovation into a multi-city phenomenon? Let's uncover how the Napiers took their mission nationwide. Beyond Laurel, building a movement. While Hometown began as a love letter to Laurel, Mississippi, its impact quickly grew beyond its city limits. What started with a couple revitalizing neglected homes in a small town became a blueprint for community transformation on a national scale. Ben and Erin Napier's mission, restoring charm, pride, and purpose to forgotten places, resonated deeply with viewers. The success of their original show eventually led to something much bigger: an expansion of their vision into new towns, new formats, and new opportunities. The first significant step beyond Laurel came in 2021 with the debut of Hometown: Ben's Workshop. Unlike the flagship series, this spin-off focused solely on Ben's craftsmanship. Shot in his personal woodshop, the show featured Ben building custom furniture pieces while engaging in candid conversations with celebrity guests. From comedians to musicians and athletes, each episode offered viewers a deeper look into Ben's woodworking process and personal philosophy. It showcased his quiet strength and precision, while also providing a platform to connect with audiences beyond traditional renovation. But the true expansion came with Hometown Takeover, which premiered in May 2021. In this spin-off, Ben and Erin left Laurel to tackle renovations in other small American towns. The first season focused on Wetumpka, Alabama, a town struggling with economic stagnation and deteriorating infrastructure. Over the course of the season, the Napiers and their team transformed homes, businesses, public spaces, and even a local park. The result? a revitalized downtown, renewed community pride, and national attention for a place many had forgotten. The show's second season took the same philosophy to Fort Morgan, Colorado, again blending home renovations with community uplift. Local businesses were given makeovers, murals were painted, and public areas were rejuvenated. Each project aimed to create long-term impact, not just on camera, but in the lives of residents. In 2025, the third season of Hometown Takeover wrapped filming in Sebring, Florida. As with the towns before, the Napiers collaborated with designers, architects, and local tradespeople to breathe new life into neglected spaces. The show has not only inspired other towns to apply for their own takeovers, but also encouraged citizens across the country to take pride in their communities and push for local revitalization efforts. What makes these takeovers so compelling is the Napiers' personal involvement. Despite their growing fame and the increasing scale of their projects, Ben and Erin remain hands-on. They form relationships with town leaders, listen to residents, and make sure that the renovations reflect the character and history of each town. They never arrive with cookie-cutter designs. Every detail, from signage to furniture, is tailored with care. This commitment to authenticity is what sets them apart in an era of fast makeovers and instant gratification. For Ben and Erin, revitalization is a slow, thoughtful process that honors the past while embracing the future. And viewers appreciate that. They don't just watch homes being restored, they witness towns being reborn. Beyond the shows, the couple's brands have continued to flourish. Scotsman Company and Laurel Mercantile now sell their wares nationwide, spreading the hometown ethos far and wide. Whether it's a handmade cutting board or a vintage-inspired light fixture, each product is a reflection of their values: craftsmanship, community, and tradition. Their growing platform also enables them to advocate for causes close to their hearts, from American manufacturing to rural preservation. They've become ambassadors for a lifestyle that cherishes simplicity, family, and place. A powerful message in an increasingly fast-paced world. But while their professional influence expanded across the country, what was happening behind the scenes in their personal lives? Let's step into the private world of Ben and Erin, where love, family, and quiet decisions shape everything they do. Love, family, and quiet strength. Behind the success of Hometown, beyond the workshops and beautifully restored houses, lies a quiet but unwavering force that powers everything Ben and Erin Napier do: their family. While their professional lives have become public and celebrated, the Napiers have drawn clear lines around their personal world, carefully choosing what to share and what to protect. This balance between fame and privacy has become a defining aspect of who they are. Ben and Erin's love story began long before their HGTV fame. They met in 2004 at Jones County Junior College and instantly connected. By the end of that very year, they had promised each other they would get married. Their shared love for small-town life, history, and design created a bond that only grew stronger over time. In 2008, they tied the knot, and instead of chasing big city dreams, they returned to Laurel, the place they always believed in. What sets them apart is not just their romance, but the deliberate choices they make to preserve it. Erin once shared that their relationship thrives because they genuinely enjoy doing life together. From working side by side on projects to parenting their daughters, their bond is marked by mutual respect, emotional support, and intentional love. Their family grew in 2018 with the birth of their first daughter, Helen. But her arrival came after a long and difficult journey. Erin had faced health challenges that made it hard to conceive. The struggles weren't publicly known until later, as the couple kept much of that chapter private. When Helen finally arrived, she was not just a baby, she was a miracle. 3 years later, in 2021, their second daughter, May, was born. Once again, the Napiers kept the pregnancy almost entirely out of the public eye. Erin later revealed that she had been pregnant throughout the filming of an entire season of Hometown, hiding her growing belly with clever wardrobe choices and camera angles. It wasn't about secrecy for drama, it was about safeguarding something deeply precious. Since becoming parents, Ben and Erin have made a conscious choice to keep their daughters off social media. In a 2023 interview, Ben explained that they, along with close family members, had all agreed that their kids would not appear online until they graduated high school. That pact has held firm. There are no clear photos of Helen or May online, no clickbait parenting content. Instead, fans get sweet glimpses through stories and silhouettes, enough to feel connected but never invasive. This philosophy extends to how they raise their children. The Napiers emphasize family rituals, quiet moments, and real-life connection over internet validation. Erin has shared heartfelt anecdotes, like May feeling lost when her older sister Helen went to school, or Helen creating get-well drawings for Ben after his surgery. These stories reflect a home filled with tenderness and intention. Despite their fame, Ben and Erin remain grounded. They live in the same town where they met, among the same neighbors, visiting the same local spots. Their daughters go to local schools, and the couple still participates in community events. For them, fame is not a destination. It's a platform to amplify values they already held dear. Even within their shows, their family values subtly shine through. Whether it's designing a nursery for a young couple or restoring a family heirloom, their work often mirrors their own priorities: legacy, love, and rootedness. Their ability to navigate public life while fiercely guarding their private world has earned them not just admiration, but trust. In a world where oversharing is often the norm, the Napiers remind us that some things, like the faces of your children or the details of your marriage, are worth protecting. But while Ben and Erin have found personal peace, what kind of legacy are they leaving behind for their hometown? And how are institutions honoring their extraordinary impact? Here is their legacy in the making of America's most beloved renovation duo. A lasting legacy and what lies ahead. Legacy isn't just about fame or fortune. It's about the impact you leave behind, the lives you touch, and the values you uphold long after the spotlight dims. For Ben and Erin Napier, legacy is something they've been building quietly, intentionally, and from the ground up. While their journey began with restoring old homes, what they've truly created is a movement, one that blends preservation with purpose, craftsmanship with community, and storytelling with soul. Their influence on Laurel, Mississippi, is now cemented in more than just beautifully renovated houses. In 2024, the college where they first met, Jones College, announced the establishment of the Erin and Ben Napier School of Design and Building Arts. The school aims to train the next generation of designers, artisans, and builders inspired by the Napiers' philosophy of blending tradition with innovation. It's not just a tribute, it's a living, breathing continuation of their work. This honor speaks volumes. It reflects how Ben and Erin's commitment to revitalization has grown beyond television and into systemic change. They've shown that good design can change lives, and now, through education, they're empowering others to do the same. Outside of institutional recognition, the couple's brands have continued to flourish. Laurel Mercantile and Scotsman Company now ship nationwide, giving customers across the country a taste of small-town craftsmanship. From hand-turned cutting boards to custom lighting fixtures, each product echoes their values: durability, simplicity, and story. They've also used their growing influence to champion American manufacturing and responsible sourcing. Many of the products they sell are made by local craftsmen in Laurel, creating jobs and reinforcing a sustainable local economy. It's not just business for the Napiers, it's stewardship. Perhaps even more powerful than their professional legacy is the emotional one. Through Hometown, they've helped people fall in love with their homes, and by extension, with the idea of home itself. Viewers often share stories of how the show inspired them to renovate rather than relocate, to invest in their communities, and to find beauty in imperfection. Erin has also taken her message beyond the screen with her book, Heirloom Rooms: Soulful Stories of Home. Released as a call to embrace the messy, meaningful corners of our lives, the book is a reminder that perfection isn't the goal. Authenticity is. It has resonated with countless readers, offering a gentle rebellion against the curated aesthetics of social media. Ben, too, has expanded his reach with public speaking engagements and woodworking demonstrations, often focusing on the importance of craft in the digital age. His story, from preacher's son to nationally recognized artisan, continues to inspire those looking to find purpose in their passions. The couple's legacy also lives through the way they've modeled modern family life. Their decision to keep their daughters off social media, their slow and intentional parenting style, and their deep bond as partners set a quiet standard in a noisy world. For many, their example is more than admirable. It's aspirational. Even as their influence grows, Ben and Erin remain remarkably grounded. They still live in the same Laurel home. They still walk to their favorite coffee shop. And they still get their hands dirty on job sites. Their success hasn't changed who they are. It's magnified who they've always been. As Hometown enters its next phase, expanding into Florida and beyond, fans are eager to see where the journey will lead. Will their daughters follow in their footsteps? Will they take the model to more towns or even globally? The foundation has been laid, but the blueprint for their future remains unwritten. What's clear is that the Napiers have built more than homes. They've built trust, they've built a vision, and they've built a legacy that proves you don't need to chase the big city to do something big. Sometimes the most powerful stories begin in the smallest places, with two people, a set of tools, and a whole lot of heart. Ben's story is one of heart, hope, and hard work. What inspired you most about his journey? Share your thoughts below.